have low vision or have another print disability which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Dzień dobry. This is Joanne Yanitsky, and for the next hour, I'll be reading from the February 26th, 2026 issue of the Am-Pol Eagle on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Well, 2/26/2026. That would be how you would write out the date in numbers for this week's Am-Pol Eagle. Pretty good. Lots to read about in this issue. Sun, a little sun coming out here and there. We're getting there. I know we're getting there. Spring is in the air. I can feel it in my bones. Let's just hope it comes sooner than later. Okay, we're actually going to start with photos on the front page. Photos are by Peter Sloan. And the caption reads, "Artists in the Making. Punchki and a Polish pottery class with instructor Michelle McLeod was held February 21st at St. Stanislaus Marian Hall in Buffalo. The afternoon was filled with paints, stencils, bisque pieces, fellowship, and punchki." This looks like they had quite a crowd. There are photos of people working on their bisque pieces, and there are photos of people who are certainly deep in concentration as they work on their patterns, and some have floral, some have not solid patterns, but I don't know what you'd call the pattern, but you've all seen the Polish pottery, so you know what I mean, that just repeat with a border around the dish. There are some what look like little trays. I see a serving bowl. What else have we got here? Hard to tell. Mostly trays. But there are a couple of, and they look like good-sized serving bowls, too. So it looks like everyone is smiling. I don't see the punchki while they're doing their painting. So they must have had a setup someplace else so as not to get crumbs on the pottery. We have information about another, maybe I can find it quickly, another opportunity to get painting, since this one was so popular. Let's see. Well, we've got a Pysanki making class. This is part of the Am-Pol Eagle Polish Cultural Enhancement Series. It's on March 21st, and it's $25. Learn the art of making decorated Polish Easter eggs. It's a maximum of 12 seats per session, so you better get in there early. There's a 10 in the morning till noon, or a 2 in the afternoon until 4. I've taken this class. It is wonderful. You would be surprised. You come out with all kinds of patterns, certain patterns. They tell you which regions in Poland use certain patterns, and you can get as creative as you'd like, and they give you all the dyes. People share, and it was just wonderful. On Saturday, March 28th, there's a $15 butter lamb class. 9 a.m., 11 a.m., and 1 p.m. There's also information about what to put in your święconka basket and why. And both of these classes, or all of these classes, are held at the Am-Pol Eagle Buffalo Standard Printing Office, 3620 Harlem Road, Cheektowaga, Suite 4. Easy to find. Not the front of the building. You turn the corner and the door is right there. Okay, let's get on to some news. And I know the Olympics are over, but this is a roundup of all the Olympic glory, and it's by my buddy Tom Tadapachki and Polonia Pressbox. Tomaszak and Pieroguska get Olympic glory. Poland departed Milan Cortina without an Olympic gold, taking home 4 total medals, mostly from ski jumping. However, it was a better performance than in 2022, when Poland just won a single bronze, with ski jumper Dawid Kubacki winning it in the men's normal hill individual event. But Poland doesn't usually do very well at the Winter Games. Before 2026, Poland won 23 Winter Olympic medals, including 7 golds, with ski jumping and cross-country skiing among its most successful disciplines. 3 of Poland's 4 medals this year came, not surprisingly, in ski jumping. Polish ski jumpers have achieved many great accomplishments over the years, but 19-year-old Kasper Tomaszak and his young man, there's a photo of him hanging onto his skis. He made history, becoming the first Pole to ever win 3 ski jumping medals at a single Olympics. The ski jumper stunned the international winter sports community with a groundbreaking performance at the Milan Cortina Games, capturing 3 medals, 2 silvers in the individual and team events with Paweł Wąsiek, and a bronze in the individual large ski jump competition. Tomaszak is a rookie in his first year on the World Cup circuit. His spectacular jumps and athletic precision attracted much attention, as well as his practice of making a sign of the cross before each jump. After his victories, Tomaszak celebrated by asking for a Thanksgiving Eucharist, placing his medals on the altar in gratitude to God. For Father Edward Plen, a longtime Olympic chaplain of Polish athletes, that gesture reflects something very authentic about the deeply religious teenager. Quote, Kasper came to me and said it would be good to thank God for these medals, Father Plen told OSV News. He continued, he came, and I must say it was a mass full of gratitude to God and for Kasper, Father Plen said. It was very moving. I said that the most beautiful thanksgiving for a medal is when the medals are placed on the altar, and during the elevation, God himself comes to that altar and looks not only at those medals, but above all, at Kasper's beautiful, pure heart. End quote. Fellow medalist Wąsiek, 26, a native of Czechia, also competed in the 2022 Games. His best Olympic finish had been 6th in a team event in 2022. Olympic silver was won by Poland's Władimir Semierunier in the 10,000-meter speed skating event. The speed skater was born in Russia, but left his homeland after the invasion of Ukraine. His presence on Poland's team was criticized by Polish-based Ukrainian organization Euromaidan Warszawa, which wrote, "This is a Russian who just a moment ago was representing a country waging a brutal war." At the same time, Russia's sport minister denounced Russian athletes such as Semierunier, who have fled their homeland, and threatened to strip them of Russian titles and prevent them from returning to their country of birth. Semierunier moved to Poland in 2023 and has publicly condemned Russia's war in Ukraine. He became a Polish citizen in 2025, with President Karol Nawrocki helping expedite the decision. In 2025, he won World Championship silver in the 10,000 meter and bronze in the 5,000 meter, and also claimed a European gold over 5,000 meter. Pieroguszka, or Little Pierogi, became an unlikely star at the Milan Olympics. It was first seen in the arms of a Polish ice skater, Magdalena Tascher, and soon went viral around the world. As Tascher was waiting for the results of the Polish team's performance, she hugged and waved the pierogi-shaped plushie. Although the Polish ice skaters finished in the 10th position out of 10, Pieroguszka caught the public's attention. By the way, it was the first time in history that Poland was participating in a team skating competition at the Olympics. The official mascots of the Milan Cortina Games are Tina and Milo, a pair of light-colored and brown stoats. They're a kind of weasel. However, it was Pieroguszka that caught everyone's attention. Luft, a small Katowice-based workshop, crafts the plush pierogi. Not surprisingly, they quickly sold out of them, but ramped up production to meet demand. The organization runs craft workshops for people with disabilities where they sew different kinds of pieroguszki. Luft thanked the outskating Olympic team for bringing pieroguszka along with them. Quote, "You have no idea, but you can guess how moved and grateful we are, along with our entire pierogi team, to see Pieroguszka make it to the Olympics and win so many hearts around the world." End quote. To get yours, check out www.pieroguszka.com. I'm going to spell it. PIEROGUSZKA.com. I'm taking a little break from this Olympics article, only because I can't tell you how many texts went between me and my sisters and one of my nieces, and everyone saw the Pieroguszka, and we all wanted one. They were very cute, and they certainly made everyone aware of Poland in the Olympics. Okay, let's continue. John Wróblewski shed tears of joy as Team USA women's hockey broke an 8-year gold medal drought, defeating Canada 2-1 in overtime. The 44-year-old Wróblewski took over as head coach of Team USA women's hockey in 2022, with the team in the midst of a gold medal drought. The Wisconsin native played 4 seasons of college hockey at Notre Dame, then spent 4 years in the minor leagues. He began his coaching career in the ECHL, posting back-to-back 40-win seasons with the Gwinnett Gladiators. In 2013, he joined the Rochester Americans, Buffalo's affiliate in the American Hockey League, as an assistant coach. 2 seasons later, Sabres general manager Tim Murray overhauled the coaching staff, firing head coach Chad Cassidy as well as Wróblewski and goalie coach Bob Janosz. Wróblewski joined the USA women's national team in 2022, following 2 years as the head coach of the Ontario, California Reign of the AHL and 4 seasons as a head coach with USA Hockey's National Team Development Program. Over his 4 years with the NTDP, the program reached its first USHL playoff berth since 2012, its first ever USHL Eastern Conference Finals appearance, and a top 3 finish in all 12 international tournaments entered. From 2016 to 18, Wróblewski led his team to 33 consecutive international victories. Wróblewski also oversaw the development of 29 NHL draft picks, including Jack Hughes, who scored the winning goal for the U.S. men's team. Known as a communicator and motivator, Wróblewski coaches an aggressive, up-tempo style that helped deliver the gold. He was emotional after winning the tournament, but it didn't bother him that he didn't receive a gold medal himself. None of the coaches do. Short track speed skater Kamila Selye of Poland was immobilized on a stretcher and wheeled out of the Milano ice skating arena after a competitor's blade sliced her above her left eye during the women's 1,500 meters at the Milan Cortina Olympics. Selye went down with Ariana Fontana of Italy and American Kristen Santos Griswold, who was penalized for an illegal lane pass that contributed to the accident. The race was paused while Selye received attention, and a large white sheet prevented the crowd from seeing the bloody scene. She later underwent surgery. While many fans were critical of Santos Griswold, Camilla said on Instagram that it was an accident and urged, quote, "Let's choose kindness instead of hate." End quote. Amen. Okay. Tom Tadapachki does such a nice job on his sports articles. Let's take our first break. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Am-Pol Eagle on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. I'm going to jump over to Polish News Bites. Poland ends special refugee rules, aligns with EU, the European Union. Poland has formally abolished its standalone legal framework for Ukrainian refugees, replacing it with the standard European Union temporary protection regime starting March 5th, 2026. The change ends the bespoke provisions that had governed the stay of displaced Ukrainians since Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022, affecting nearly 1 million refugees currently in Poland. Under the EU system, displaced Ukrainians will continue to enjoy temporary protection, including access to the labor market and social benefits, but now on the same legal footing as other beneficiaries of the EU regime. One notable shift is that refugees will lose protection if they leave Poland for more than 30 days, a stricter rule than under the previous Polish system. Poland withdraws from Ottawa Mine Ban Treaty. Poland's withdrawal from the 1997 Ottawa Convention, which bans the use and production of anti-personnel mines, has taken effect as part of its East Shield security strategy amid ongoing tensions with Russia and Belarus. Prime Minister Donald Tusk said the country will now be capable of laying defensive minefields along its eastern border within 48 hours if needed, a capability he characterized as vital for the protecting national territories. The move follows a 6-month withdrawal process initiated in August 2025 and aligns Poland with most of its neighbors on NATO's eastern flank, excluding Norway, who have also left the treaty. Warsaw plans to resume domestic production of anti-personnel and anti-tank mines, which may also be made available to Ukraine as part of defense cooperation. Critics, including human rights organizations, have condemned the decision, emphasizing the danger to civilians and long-term contamination risks. That must have been a difficult decision. Okay, we're going to jump to Polonia's calendar. We have on Saturday, March 7th, another Polish pottery workshop. Okay, the first one was at St. Stan's, looked very, very crowded. So if you miss that one, you still have a chance. Saturday, March 7th, noon to 3 p.m., It's at Our Lady Help of Christians Lower Hall, 4125 Union Road at Genesee, again, noon to 3. $50 includes one item, plus paint, brushes, designs, patterns, and instructions from Michelle McLeod and Barbara Wawrowski, plus light refreshments. To register, you're going to call Kathy, and I've got her phone number, 716-893-6985. 7885. Again, 716-893-7885. Thursday, March 12th, Polish Census Records Then and Now by Tadeusz Pilat. It's at Erie 1 Bosse's, 355 Harlem Road, West Seneca, 7 to 9 p.m. That address is across from the SPCA on Harlem Road, and I'm pretty sure that that is a meeting of the Western New York Genealogical Society or Polish Genealogical Society. I can't remember exactly. So, Sunday, March 15th, corned beef and cabbage dinner and pot of gold raffle. Dinners include corned beef, cabbage, potatoes, carrots, rye bread, dessert, and beverage. $18 per person. Children under 12 are $9. Starts at 11:30 in the morning and goes to 3:30 in the afternoon or sold out, whichever comes first. It's at St. Stan's, corner Fillmore and Peckham. You can eat in or take out, and you can get tickets from ushers in church or the rectory office. Thursday, March 19th, PBW of Polonia meeting. That's the professional businesswomen. Guest speaker Kathy Goller of Teal Horizon Coaching. It's at Polish Falcons, but it doesn't say which one. 716-725-7096 for reservations and the address. 716-725-7096 for reservations. Saturday, March 21st, Research Day at the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library with Polish Genealogical Society of New York State. That's between 1 in the afternoon until 5. It's in the Grosvenor Room, Buffalo and Erie County Public Library, 1 Lafayette Square. Sunday, March 22nd, a commemoration of Revolutionary War heroes on America's 250th anniversary at the Montante Cultural Center, Canisius University, 2001 Main Street in Buffalo, New York. It's at 2:30 in the afternoon, and it is free. And a save-the-date reminder, July 24th, 25th, and 26th, the Polish American Arts Festival. It's at Cheektowaga Town Park in Cheektowaga, New York. I don't know which is bigger, this one or Dingus Day might be bigger, but they're both wonderful, wonderful events. Okay, now we're going to jump to This Week in the History of Buffalo's Polonia. This is by Carl L. Buckeye. And I'm going to read a list of events that occurred during the week of February 26th to March 4th. In February 26th, 1898, the New York State Supreme Court confirms the appointment of James M. Rozan to serve as clerk as the county court of Erie County. This appointment was the first time that American of Polish descent assumed an administrative position within the judicial system of Western New York. February 26th, 1926, Monsignor Alexander Pitas, the pastor of St. Stanislaus Church in Buffalo, delivers a sermon in Polish at the funeral for Archbishop John Chapwick in St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. February 27th, 1853, birth of Katarzyna Barniczki, the first child of Polish descent to be born in Buffalo. February 27, 1900, the New York Court of Appeals decides the landmark case of Krug versus Pitas. In its decision, the court reversed a judgment against the pastor of St. Stanislaus Church for libel, arising from publication of a letter to the editor of Polak v. Amerycy, a daily newspaper for which Father Pitas was serving as publisher. February 28, 1909, the 100th birthday of Frédéric Chopin is celebrated by more than 2,000 people at Dom Polsky Hall. A chorus of more than 500 voices performed under the direction of Professor Leon Olszewski. 500 singing in the chorus. Wow. March 1st, 1901, the founding of the Kalina Singing Society, the sponsor of a woman's chorus. March 1st, 1938, Dr. Francis E. Franchak serves as general chairman of the All Nations Mardi Gras, an event to support the rare book collection of the Buffalo Museum of Science. The collection is now maintained at the Buffalo and Erie County Public Library. March 2nd, 1911, the Polish-American Businessmen's Association sponsors a mass at Am-Pol Hall to propose a new vocational school. Approximately 1,500 taxpayers unanimously adopt a resolution of support. This resulted in the creation of Peckham Vocational School. I'm guessing that was on Peckham Street. And finally, March 3rd, 1939, the founding of the Paderewski Singing Society in Buffalo. Okay. HMRC to present production of Jesus. Sight and Sound Theater presents Jesus, showing Saturday, March 21st at 6:15 p.m. at Holy Mother of the Rosary Cathedral. Organizers invite the public to witness some of the most inspiring, miraculous events in the Gospels as Jesus sets sail with fishermen, heals the hurting, and challenges the Pharisees, saying, quote, "From Jerusalem to the raging Sea of Galilee, experience this spectacular original production as it comes to life like never before," end quote. Free soft drinks and popcorn. The presentation with new theater equipment will be in the Bishop Peplowski Center at HMR Cathedral, 6298 Broadway in Lancaster, New York. Open Doors St. Patrick's Day celebration set. On Saturday, March 14th, 2026, St. Bernadette Parish will welcome families with special needs to an inclusive St. Patrick's Day celebration from 1 to 3 p.m. in the St. Bernadette Parish Ministry Center. The wheelchair-accessible site is located at 5930 South Abbott Road in Orchard Park. The event will include dancing, crafts, photo ops, and light refreshments. This event is sponsored by Open Doors Ministry, which advocates for the inclusion of people with disabilities into the life of the parish. There is a phone number or email address to, register. It doesn't say register, but they need to know who's coming. They need to know how many are coming. So you can call Paula, 716-749-1051. Again, 716-649-1051. Or you can email cozmo3631@gmail.com. It's cozmo3631@gmail.com. Okay. Pierogi makers needed. St. John Canty's Team Pierogi is looking for volunteers to help make pierogi. They will be making pierogi on Mondays at St. Catherine Drexel Church, 135 North Ogden Street in Buffalo, from 8:30 in the morning until 7 in the evening. You do not need to spend the entire time. No experience necessary. This is my comment. This might be a good way to learn how to make pierogi if that's something you thought you wanted to do. I make them. They're not hard. I learned from my grandmother, like most people my age did. And you would be helping the St. John Canty's Team Pierogi. Let's see, Mondays include March 2nd, 9th, and 16th, and March 23rd is a possibility. They'll let us know. Proceeds from their Lenten pierogi sale will go to support the church. If you need more information, I'm going to give you Matt's number, 716-479-2531. Again, 716-479-2531. Okay, we have webinar to examine religious and labor ties in Slavic communities. From church to factory, schisms, strikes, and church uprisings in the Slavic industrial belt, 1870 to 1940, is the topic of a Polish-American Historical Association webinar featuring Gavin Moulton from the University of Notre Dame. Beginning in 1870, Slavic migrants in the industrial United States resisted corporate and religious authority through strikes, schisms, and church uprisings. Over 2 million migrants created a new cultural region, the Slavic Industrial Belt, by founding more than 1,200 churches and networks of religious, financial, and social institutions. Slavic parishes became centers of class identity because of their broad socioeconomic role. As corporations often funded church construction, priests were drawn into labor conflicts and faced divided loyalties between corporate patrons and congregations. Many congregations responded by forming independent churches, demanding collective ownership and resisting control by the Irish and German-dominated Catholic hierarchy. These conflicts reshaped the region by producing new denominations, influencing labor politics, and transforming industrial skylines. The webinar, I think this has taken place. That's a shame because that sounded pretty interesting. But maybe you can go to the website, PolishAmericanStudies.org. All one word, PolishAmericanStudies.org. And perhaps they will have some kind of report. Who knows? Maybe you can even still see it. You never know. Sorry about that late publication, I guess. Let's take our next break. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Am-Pol Eagle on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Let's see here. Oh, Tom Talk is here. Tom Tadapachki. He's got questions and answers this time. And the title is Mailbag, Remembering the Dairy Bar. And there's a photograph, boarded up, dairy bar. And it says the beloved dairy bar is still standing on Memorial Drive. And except for the brace holding up the cantilevered roof in front, it looks very much like the custard stand I grew up with in Lackawanna. Let's see what Tom has to say. First question. Your article, Remembering Hot Summer Days on the East Side, in the January 22nd issue of the Am-Pol Eagle was most interesting and, to me, personal. Part of the article was the dairy bar on Memorial. You wrote that it was operated by a man named Stanley Novak. I was that Stanley Novak. I was the owner and operator of the dairy bar on 401 Memorial Drive from 1962 to 1966. Your article brought back a lot of great memories from those years. The many workers at the Central Terminal, the students from school number 44 in Bishop Colton High School were all regulars at the dairy bar. At that time, the Buffalo Bills games were at the Buffalo Civic Stadium, known as the Rock Pile. After the games in September and October, I would get a crowd of fans at the dairy bar. Those were great years on the East Side. Stanley Nowak. And Tom answers, the dairy bar is still standing and is apparently available. Well, I'm sure that was wonderful, wonderful memories for Stanley Novak. And that was so nice of him to write in to Tom. and add more memories. Question. I met someone from Poland who was wearing his wedding ring on his right hand. He said that over there, married people wear their ring on their right, not left hand. Why is that? And that's from W. Pierszonek. And Tom answers, I've heard a couple different explanations. One is that, as in some other cultures, the right hand is considered more prominent or significant. It also represents honor, loyalty, and strength. The right hand is also prominent in Christian culture, as in Jesus sitting at the right hand of God, which is a place of honor. But I've also heard that following failed Polish uprisings in the 19th century, women began wearing their wedding rings on the right hand to demonstrate their mourning for husbands who lost their lives fighting for Polish freedom. It became a symbolic gesture to pay tribute to their homeland and those who died for its freedom. Eventually, it became cultural tradition. Next question. I'm asking for a friend. Is indulging in punchki as big of a deal before Ash Wednesday in Poland as big as it is here? That's from Ronnie Z. The response. Punchki are huge in both size and popularity. When I was in Poland, punchki were commonplace and came in numerous varieties. In the run-up to Lent, the Poles start their pre-Lenten punchki binge on Fat Thursday, or Tłusty Czwartek, while we here celebrate Punchki Day on Fat Tuesday, the day before Ash Wednesday. Poles also enjoy faworki, better known here as kruszczyki or angel wings. And my addition to the commentary, I know that punchki were available before, well before Punchki Day. I do market in the square, and they had punchki several weeks ago. I did not break down. I didn't. Question. I read your piece on the Hitler assassination attempts and wanted to address Operation Valkyrie as it was depicted in the Tom Cruise movie of the same name. Overall, it wasn't a bad movie, but I had one particular problem with it. The German conspirators were depicted as champions of democracy in that film, but they were longtime supporters of Hitler and the Nazi Party. Some of them participated in war crimes. They may not have supported all of Hitler's policies, but they only plotted against Hitler outright when the Germans realized that the war was not winnable. And that's from KZ. Tom responds, good point. I've heard that Operation Valkyrie is an entertaining movie, but it's hard for me to accept Tom Cruise as a Nazi officer. Question. Don't you think that you were a little harsh on Sean McDermott? He did a good job, and I'm sure other teams would love to hire him. That's from a Bills fan. Tom responds, hey, I'm not the one who fired him. I did agree with the decision, however. While I think that he did a good job rebuilding the team, it clearly wasn't good enough. The Bills made the playoffs in 8 of their 9 seasons under McDermott, but the team couldn't make it to the Super Bowl. As we saw in the playoff loss to Denver, bad decisions and game management issues continued to hold back the team despite the presence of Josh Allen. It was time for a change. But don't feel too sorry for McDermott. He was earning an annual salary of about $8 million and had a contract extension through the 2027 season. So even though he's been fired, the Bills could owe him a $16 million payout. Plus, with all of the coaches that pro teams hire these days, I'm sure he'll be back coaching an NFL defense if he wants to do that. I'm looking. This is, now we've got, okay. Buffalo's best fish fry. This is the fish fry page. We've got, it's at Hofbrauhaus in Buffalo. Let's see if I can make out the, I think 190 Scott Street in downtown Buffalo. And it's beer battered in our world-renowned premium lager. And of course, you're going to want a lager to go along with it. From the photograph, I see a nice sized piece of fish, French fries, coleslaw, macaroni salad, and tartar sauce, of course. Athens, family dining, 2801 Harlem Road in Cheektowaga. You have haddock and over 20 other Lenten options. Actually, they serve fish fry every day. That's good to remember. You can do dine-in or takeout, and they also do catering. Okay. Morluski's $21 Polish Porter fish fry. Beer battered haddock, all scratch made. This is made with Polish żywiec. It's a porter type of beer, and it includes the fish, rye bread, mizeria, I don't even know what that is, dill pickle macaroni, Weber's mustard potato salad, and homemade dill sauce. That's at 10678 Main Street in Clarence. If you're out in the North Towns or you want to take a nice drive into the outlands there and try Morluski's Polish Porter fish fry. Okay, we're on the infamous centerfold of the Am-Pol Eagle. We have a photograph of, this is it, a nighttime photograph, and there's a fire burning, and it's part of the Ash Wednesday preparations. Father Walter Grabowski blessed burning palms on February 18th at St. Casimir's Church in Buffalo before the St. Casimir's Ash Wednesday Mass. We have a photograph of a couple. She's in skates. She's got one leg bent at the knee so you can see her skates, but I don't believe they're on ice because she's got skate guards on. And although the background reads the rink at Rockefeller Center. And it says here, a Jurassic romance. This past holiday season, David Swinich proposed to Christine Kralevich on ice while figure skating at Rockefeller Center in Manhattan, New York. The couple met in 2020 and bonded through outdoor recreation, including hiking and biking, as well as their shared Polish heritage. Their Jurassic polka jeep float, featuring inflatable dinosaurs, has been a mainstay of the Dingus Day Parade since 2021. Christine and David look forward to gathering with their families and friends for a marriage celebration in downtown Buffalo in July 2027. Well, best wishes to the wonderful couple and cheer them on at the Dingus Day Parade. Kaczorowski scholarship applications available. The eligibility period to submit applications for the Dara Kaczorowski Memorial College Scholarship has begun. It's a $1,500 scholarship. You must be of Polish lineage and be able to demonstrate pride in your heritage. A minimum GPA of 3.0 is also required, along with several other parameters. Applications will be accepted until May 31st, 2026. Students can obtain a full listing of the application requirements by emailing. You're emailing James Kaczorowski, and the email address is, I'm going to spell, JEJKAZ @yahoo.com. I'll do it again, JEJKAZ @yahoo.com. You can also call 716-864-4642. Again, 716-864-4642. Meat raffle to help volleyball student athletes. Friends of Western New York Volleyball, a not-for-profit organization, committed to empowering student athletes who play volleyball in Western New York, announced its 4th annual meat raffle on Saturday, March 14th at 7 p.m. The event will be held at Knights Hall, 2735 Union Road in Cheektowaga, New York. Tickets for the meat raffle are available by contacting Joe Enser at 716-435-0686. Let's scroll along here. Felician Sisters offer Lenten retreat for women. The Felician Sisters are offering a Lenten retreat for women entitled Truly, This Was the Son of God on Saturday, March 21st, 2026, from 9 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. The day will include adoration, reverence of the crucifix, prayer, reflections, sharing, and lunch with an opportunity to meet new friends. A vigil mass at 4 p.m. is available after the retreat at the chapel. The retreat is held at the Immaculate Heart of Mary Convent, or Villa, 600 Dote Street in Buffalo, New York. To reserve your spot, call 716-892-4141 by March 14th. A $30 donation, cash or check, payable to Felician Sisters is requested. Let's take our last break, because this next story has the potential to be of interest to quite a few people. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Am-Pol Eagle on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. The title of this is Kraków Scientists Turn Chemotherapy into Targeted Therapy with New Brain Tumor Delivery. There is a photo of 5 lovely young women. The photo is by Beata Vizga, and it's the photos of the researchers who participated in this work. Researchers at the Jagiellonian University in Kraków have developed a new method for administering temozolomide, or TMZ. It's a chemotherapy drug used in brain tumor therapy that could improve treatment effectiveness and reduce side effects. The method allows the drug to be delivered either directly to the tumor site during glioma resection surgery or intranasally through the nasal cavity. The TMZ carriers were developed over several years by an interdisciplinary team of scientists at the Jagiellonian University under the medical supervision of Evelina Gjivna from the Department of Neurosurgery and Neurotraumatology at the University Hospital in Kraków. According to the university, the method has the potential to increase therapeutic effectiveness and improve patients' quality of life. Currently, temozolomide, the most commonly used chemotherapy drug for malignant glioma, is administered orally or intravenously. This approach exposes the entire body to the highly toxic drug, often causing significant side effects. The researchers aim to bypass the blood-brain barrier and deliver TMZ locally, minimizing systemic exposure. Quote, "We wanted to develop a method for administering TMZ directly to the brain affected by cancer, bypassing the patient's systemic circulation. If this condition can be met, TMZ will be maximally effective and its side effects minimal. For several years, we have been working on universal biopolymer systems that could be widely used by the medical community as drug carriers in the future. At this stage of research, I can say that we have promising results," Gjivna said. The new method uses hydrogels made from methacrylated biopolymers, gelatin, chitostan, and hyaluronic acid cross-linked with UV light in the presence of a photoinitiator. These hydrogels can incorporate TMZ in both free and modified forms, releasing the drug gradually over an extended period and directly where it is needed. Their chemical composition is biocompatible and does not damage healthy tissue, while the carriers themselves may have beneficial properties that support therapy. The system allows 2 delivery options. TMZ can be applied directly to the tumor bed during surgery, lining the cavity left by the removed tumor, or administered intranasally using an atomizer. Quote, "The intranasal method of administering TMZ is minimally invasive. In this case, the drug slowly released from the gel formulation reaches the brain through the nerve endings of the olfactory and trigeminal nerves located in the nasal cavity without significantly penetrating the patient's bloodstream. The carrier we develop has mucoadhesive properties, meaning it migrates more slowly from the nose to the throat, along with the mucus, and adheres to the mucosa, allowing it to act longer," said co-inventor Joanna Lewandowski-Wanjuchka. According to the researchers, combining intranasal delivery with direct tumor bed administration could transform brain tumor treatment, as no approved TMZ formulation exists for these delivery methods worldwide. Quote, "However, it can be a complementary therapy, a solution for those who are not eligible for standard whole-body treatment," said Alexandra Krajce, co-inventor of the technology. The research team has conducted a series of studies necessary for introducing the technology into clinical practice. The biopolymer carriers and delivery methods are the subject of multiple patent applications. Jagiellonian University Center for Technology Transfer is managing commercialization and establishing partnerships with biomedical and pharmaceutical companies to continue development. This is from PAP Science in Poland. If you want to look into it further, you can go to their website, www.scienceinpoland.pl. I'll do it again, www.scienceinpoland, no space, scienceinpoland.pl. Okay, got a couple polkas on tap. Lent is always a quiet dancing season, but Sunday, March 15th, it's a combination St. Patrick's, St. Joseph's Day polka dance. How about that? It's at Potts Banquet Hall, 41 South Rossler Avenue in Cheektowaga, New York, 3 in the afternoon till 7 in the evening. $10 will get you in the front door, and New Direction will have you dancing. Wednesday, March 18th, it's a Polka Boosters meeting. It's at the Polish Falcons, 445 Columbia Avenue in Depew. Doors open at 7 p.m., music beginning at 7:30. Kaisertown Polka Band will play. Let's see, I'm scrolling down here. We have a recipe. A mouth-watering fish dinner. Cheesy basil cod. And this recipe is adapted from laurenslatest.com. It'll give you 4 servings. While I'm reading, if you're going to do this, preheat your oven to 450 degrees. That's pretty high, but it takes a long time to heat an oven to 450. Even when the little light goes out, you should probably wait another 15, 20 minutes longer. Okay, let's see what this says. During the spring months, fish can be a popular food for at-home meals. It's a perfect nutritious option during Lent, and it's flaky and delicious for seafood lovers and families of all kinds throughout the year. This cheesy basil cod has a light crust and a glistening center, which creates a delicious bite of texture. Serve it with rice and vegetables to complete a better-for-you dinner that's packed with nutrients as well as flavor. This recipe, rich with cheese and seafood delight, serves 4, but it's easy to double for a larger crowd. I'll do this as slowly as I can. So you need 3 cod fillets of 12 ounces each. And then you need a half cup of mayonnaise, a half cup of freshly grated Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, 1 tablespoon of parsley flakes, 2 tablespoons of basil leaves, 2 cloves of garlic minced, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon pepper, and optional rice for serving and optional vegetables. Okay. Line a baking sheet with parchment paper. Place fish fillets on the baking sheet and set aside. In a small bowl, stir mayonnaise with cheese, parsley, basil, garlic, salt, and pepper. Spread evenly over fillets. Bake 10 to 12 minutes or until fish starts looking flaky. Switch oven to broil and brown tops of fish until lightly golden. Remove from the oven, cool for about 3 minutes, and enjoy a wonderful, wonderful cheesy basil cod. I'm sure, I have no doubt, that you could do this on haddock. Make the cheese sauce and do it on haddock. You could do it on tilapia. Not sure about salmon, because salmon has plenty of flavor in and of itself, although I have seen cheese on top of salmon, but usually it's the orangey kind of cheese sauce. So remember that most recipes, unless you're baking cakes are scientific recipes. Don't mess with them. Don't try and change up the measurements or ingredients or anything like that. But if you're using other recipes, if you're making a stew, if you're making this fish recipe, you can add, maybe you don't like basil. Leave the basil out. It's not going to hurt it. Maybe there's something else you like better than basil. Put it in. Maybe you like oregano. Put the oregano in, leave the basil out. Double up the parsley flakes. Don't put either in. You don't like garlic? Skip the garlic. Put extra salt and pepper or maybe sprinkle with extra cheese. There's so many ways you can tweak any recipe to make it the way you and your family like it. So, okay, we have wound up another reading. You've been listening to a reading of articles and features from the February 26th, 2026 issue of the Am-Pol Eagle. We read from the Am-Pol Eagle every Saturday at 3 p.m. Your reader has been Joanne Yanitsky. Thank you for listening. Do widzenia.
Coming up next in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have the Grand Island Niagara County Tribune Sentinel. At 5 o'clock, we have the Lockport Union Sun and Journal. And at 6 o'clock, we've got the Wall Street Journal Off Duty. Stay tuned for these readings and more. If you're listening to this publication online, you're probably using our website, a podcast player like Spotify or iTunes, a streaming service like Siro, or a smart speaker. Did you know that we now have a dedicated app that can be downloaded to any mobile device, like a smartphone or tablet, for free? App users can conveniently access our live stream and any episode of our podcast easier than ever. To download the app, just type NFRRS in the search window in the Apple App Store or in the Google Play Store. Contact us anytime if you have any questions by calling 716-821-5555, extension 5. Thank you. following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability.